Stage 2 of the deployment cycle is detachment and withdrawal, which occurs in the week prior to departure.
You put it out of your mind, you think yeah, that's something that's going to happen, but you put it out of your mind. The week before it starts becoming a real reality, and you feel a lot of pressure to actually really spend time together, quality time together as a family, you know, go over all the things you need to. And it's really hard because at the back of your mind all you can think about is that they're going and all the dangers that they're going to face, and you know, and saying goodbye to the children, how are the children going to cope with it. It's awful. The week before you almost get to the point where you just need them to go.
We decided to go away for half term all together as a family, which sounded a good idea, but we actually came back the day before John went away in the end because things got a bit rushed, and he went away a few days earlier than planned. So that got a bit stressful, but probably caused by us going away the week before. But we felt it was important to spend that holiday together as the children were off school, and to spend quality time with Dad and each other, really.
More importantly to the families, it's what support is available for them back here.
These could include local organisations within the local area, organisations that can assist practically, financially, with time, such as nurseries, creches, offers from local businesses. And then with that comes the other stuff that we have to incorporate as well, which is contact details for should anything happen in the home, or if they need any support from us as welfare workers or within the community. Contact numbers are given out to the families, so that it makes it a little bit easier, so they don't feel that they're on their own, which sometimes can happen with families.
A common occurrence just prior to deployment is for soldiers and their spouses to have a significant argument. For couples who've been married a long time with a long history, this argument is readily attributed to the ebb and flow of normal marital life, and therefore is not taken too seriously. For younger couples, however, especially those experiencing their first extended separation, such an argument can take on catastrophic proportions. Fears that the relationship is over can lead to tremendous anxiety both for the soldier and the spouse. But such arguments can be a useful way for couples to distance themselves emotionally in preparation for the separation. From a psychological perspective, it is easier to be angry than be confronted with the pain and loss of saying goodbye to someone for 6 months or more.
I think to be fair, where we cope is we don't acknowledge it until you have to.
Yeah.
We just carry on as normal, and then when it comes to it, that's when you think, right, you know, they're going.
The big one in my head is don't watch the news.
This is the stage where we would really be considering getting our briefings out to the families.
A lot of information about where they're going to be, what they're going to be doing, and what came across strongly is that the commanding officer is going to be very much in control of what goes on out there, which was encouraging.
They show you where the lads are going to be staying, where they're going to be living, what sort of things they're likely to be coming across, and which is quite comforting because you've actually got no idea what they're going into. But once you see it, it takes away some of that worry.
Come to the briefing, because I just think then they can answer all your questions. You can ask anything that you've been worrying about. And I think if you do that, it will just make you feel at ease, because then you know. And it's not just that, you mix in with other parents and people who have got their sons or daughters going out. So it's not just your child. That's good as well.
Plus meeting other parents, you know. And, when in away, it was the third time Ben had been away for us, I think. So there was one or two people there we knew, and we were able to perhaps just give them a little bit of support, you know. Some of those kids were going away for the first time.
Yeah, no, it's good. You get lots of information. You also know who you can contact while they're away if you need to speak to anyone. You just feel reassured that you're going to get the support you need while they're out there.
Certainly the briefs that we've had have been very interesting, and some of the other people are just not aware, and it's good for them to talk to me to see what the other side of the deployment is as well.
Children can often become confused and very upset with the deploying parent for leaving them.
They're only 3 and 2, so they're still quite young to understand any of it, so there was no change really, we just kept things normal.
But because Sam knew where he was going and knew about the current situation there, he knew where he was going, and so it took it out of him quite a bit actually. He got upset very easily, asking why it's not fair, and didn't quite agree with him going. He didn't want him to go and got a bit bitter, and but we talked about it and talked about his role out there and looked at the positive side.
For the serving person, their focus needs to change from being at home to really think about the work ahead for the next period of time, whether that's 6 months or 9 months. They have to really, you know, all the planning, all the training and all the packing away really. And I think for the family, sometimes that can feel like a rejection. And I think having a better understanding of that process of separation can help people begin to recognise in themselves that actually he's preparing to do his job, he's not abandoning me.
You're trying to watch TV and they're messing with army kit. And over the years, I have finally got it into Keith's head that kit has got to be packed and don't mess up those last few days for the children.
In there, got my Bergen, it's all my sleeping system, spare clothing. That's my fighting order there, my webbing with my day sack, and then obviously black grip bag with spare clothing and home comforts. Give yourself a cut-off day for your kit. If you haven't got it by then, you haven't got it at all. Otherwise you end up, the day before you're due to leave, when you want to be spending quality time with the wife and the kids, you end up having a blazing row because she would say, oh, we'll take the kids out for the day. No, I've got to check my kit, and that's it. World War III breaks out in the house. You're safer going to where you're about to deploy to than you are in the house.
I'm kind of in my sort of chilled out zone. I'm like not looking forward to him going, but I am at the same time.
Well, my husband, he would get a bit more upset than me. I think I've accepted it more that we are in the Navy and it's going to happen, whereas he didn't like that, but he knew that he had no choice, and so he would get low, whereas I would be the one that would be like, there's no point in being low because you can't change it. This is our life, and so I think I was probably more the rock for him than the other way round.
It's just like he's getting himself into his zone and trying to get himself organised and everything else, and the kids were asking questions and they're not looking forward to Dad going away.
Make sure all packing is done well in advance to ensure there is some family time on the last day.
Because that is a big danger, that the kids can feel that Daddy's kit and Daddy's friends come before they do.
Continue to assure your child that you will continue your regular activities such as bedtime stories, family outings and family meals. Continue to develop a support system of people that you'll be counting on for help during deployment.
We would release that information then about activities and events that are going to be going on to the families at this stage, which would then put their mind at rest that actually this might not be as bad as I first thought it was going to be, because it sounds like there's going to be a lot going on for me around here. Sounds like I've got that support network in place, and it really takes that edge away from the families and gives them that reassurance that, combined with other agencies, the welfare team is there to support them during the tour.
It's not forever. You knew this day was going to come, and if you do feel low and lonely, and just seek support, and you don't have to be alone. There's people there to help and willing to help.
Stage 2, detachment and withdrawal. Emotions may be heightened. You are mentally and emotionally preparing for the separation. Remember, these emotions are normal in an abnormal situation. If possible, attend any family briefings which will provide updates of the forthcoming deployment, reassurances to families of the support mechanisms available to them, and also plans for any forthcoming coffee mornings, activities, events and trips that may be held during the deployment period. Start to build up a calendar of these events, family occasions, appointments and routine activities so that you, and for those with children, will be able to have things to look forward to rather than counting down the days till your loved ones return. Continue to communicate with a service person and maintain your network of support with family and friends. For those with children affected by the deployment, reassure them that routine activities such as family outings and bedtime stories will continue. Ensure that all packing and preparation is carried out in advance so that the last few days are set aside for spending quality time together, creating memorable and fun moments as a family. If you do have any concerns or worries, don't be afraid to share these with your relevant welfare or community support staff who will signpost you on to the appropriate agency.